Welcome to Marketplace Makers, Methods, Maps, Modules, and more. I am going to be your host for today's panel. My name is Emily Floyd. I am the Director of Licensing at Roll20, and I have brought together today a team I'm really excited to share with you, a lineup of guests here on the panel who represent all different types of offerings on the Roll20 marketplace. So I'm proud to say that I probably have the panel with the longest title and the biggest guest list, and I have a lot to go over in the hour that we're gathered together. So we're going to kind of jump right in. First of all, I want to say welcome to Roll20 Con 2020. If you've just joined us, well, I'm sorry, you've missed 2 days of amazing stuff, but we do have a whole rest of the Sunday to go. We have gathered together for 3 days of gaming for charity, and there is a lot going on still. We have, of course, our t-shirt offering, raising money for our charity Code 2040, that all of this is for. There is a free Burn Bright adventure available for everyone on roll20.net. Just this weekend. So there's only a couple precious hours left to go claim your free Trapped at the Edge Burn Bright adventure on Roll20. We have game demo signups all available on our website, roll20.con, roll20.net/con. And of course, the schedule of all the events we have remaining both on our Twitch and on participating partners' Twitches as well. Is the plural of Twitches? I guess it is. We're going to go with that. So I'm sure that our amazing mods have linked everything I've just talked about in the chat, but the most important thing I want to talk about is all of this is to raise funds for Code 2040, which is an amazing nonprofit that works to bring down barriers in the tech industry. We are so close to hitting our $15,000 milestone as of right before we started. I think we were just a couple hundred away. If we could hit that milestone during this stream, that would be amazing. So everyone, please check out our Tiltify and do what you can to help us raise funds for Code 2040. Now, let's move right into introductions because we have a huge lineup here. As I mentioned, I'm the Director of Licensing at Roll20, so I organize all the license content on the marketplace and also assist indie developers and creators in getting their stuff on the marketplace as well. Pass it over to Jaleesa.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jaleesa Varnado, and I am the marketing manager here at Roll20. And Marketplace is something that is near and dear to my heart, and it's been a big part of my career here so far. So I'm super excited to talk to all these wonderful creators today.
Next up, how about DM Dave?
Hey guys, I'm DM Dave. I'm a marketplace creator. Also have a Patreon and a couple other things like that. But yeah, a big part of this year, especially since the COVID pandemic, has been getting up lots and lots of content on Roll20.
Awesome. Sean?
Hey, I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner online. I am the director of projects for Evil Hat. I've been one of the folks loading a bunch of our content onto Roll20 in the last 6 months, again, because of COVID. I also am the steward of Big Bad Con and a game author. Just came out with Agon. So I'm excited. And all those things all kind of funneled very nicely into Roll20. So very happy to be here. How about you, David?
Hey, I am David Hemingway. I'm a marketplace creator, and I make digital battle maps. They're very, very detailed, usually in the tactical battle style, and mostly for fantasy. But boy, I'll head over to sci-fi one day, I promise.
Awesome. Yui Kami?
Hi, I'm just an illustrator who likes to play game a lot. I'm a creator of the generic tokens and assets. They comes in cute and happy style. I hope you enjoy them. What about you, Nora?
Hi, I'm Nora. I actually started my career in the Roll20 marketplace on the Zweihander Player's Handbook, the first installment in the Zweihander Compendium. I've currently been doing work on Flames of Freedom with Zweihander, and also on RPG Umbra, my own team from college. And aside from that, you can also find me on every Thursday night on Free League Publishing's Twitch channel for Alien RPG, where we are going to be finishing in 2 weeks our Act 3 adventure. So
Amazing. Well, thank you all for joining us today. This is such an amazing group of very talented artists. I do want to talk very briefly about the process for getting onto the marketplace. So if you're just catching up and you don't know, the Roll20 Marketplace is a place where you can get everything you need to make your games on Roll20 outstanding. The marketplace has everything from map packs and tile sets to character and token art, card decks, bestiaries, rule sets, adventure modules, board games, you name it. It is on the marketplace. And that all comes from a wide range of both big publishers and also small and independent creators. And anyone can apply to be a marketplace creator. If you want to know more about the process, rather than spending panel time talking about it, because I really want our guests to talk, I'm going to have the mods, if they haven't already, linked the Creator HQ. That's where you can go and find all about how to make stuff for the marketplace and how to apply to get your stuff up onto the marketplace as well. The things to keep in mind when you're a marketplace creator there are basically 3 pillars that we're really looking for in your content. The first of which is originality. What you're submitting has to be your own content. It should be totally original, not generated by some sort of outside program, or of course, taken from anybody else's art. Also, quality. We're looking for top quality because obviously we want to make sure that everything on the marketplace is keeping up the standards of the marketplace offerings in general. And something very near and dear to many of our hearts here is also inclusivity. What you are submitting to the marketplace should be inclusive with proper representations of all people. We reject all harmful stereotypes and language. If you're portraying real world cultures, they should accurately portray and represent that group of people. We want representation of all genders, persons of color, sexual orientations, and all bodies, especially when they're artists seeking to represent themselves and their communities on the marketplace. So those are some of the things that really should be kept in mind when you are submitting to the marketplace. Now, I know Jaleesa here, our marketplace darling, is one of the folks here at Roll20 who is often reviewing some of the stuff that's being submitted for the marketplace. And so she has seen a lot of things come through to get into the marketplace. Jaleesa, do you have anything to talk about to any of those points or anything else that you're looking for when you're reviewing marketplace submissions?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really hit the nail on the head with the pillars. And one of the biggest things that I would add to that is quality. Like, you know, while we look for good quality things when you're accepted as a creator, that's on the basis of the quality work that you used on your application. So we really look forward to making sure that that quality is upheld throughout the duration of your time selling on the Roll20 marketplace. And that can be something that could lead a pack to get sent back. As an example, like if, the quality just drops all of a sudden, those are things we kind of look out for. So really keeping consistent is key. But everything else, I think you've hit it perfectly.
Perfect. Something interesting to note, which I know as someone who was using Roll20 for a very long time before I came onto the team, I wasn't quite aware of the fact that marketplace creators they still own all the rights to all their work. It's still your own work, even after you've submitted, you've gotten approved, and it's up on the marketplace. The contract that you sign with Roll20 is non-exclusive, and you do keep 70% of all sales when you're a marketplace creator. So those are some interesting facts to keep in mind for those of you who are looking to apply. It does mean that you must be legal or eligible to work in the US and able to supply a W-9 or W-8 BEN tax form. And you have to have PayPal access because that's how we get you your money. Now, that being said, we have kind of covered the basics of the application process for marketplace creators. And I know we're kind of flying through here, but that's because I want to get to the bulk of our panel, which is giving these amazing marketplace creators a chance to talk about their experience as creators on the marketplace. One of the goals of this panel is I really want to demystify the process a little bit, because since coming on board to the Roll20 team, I've heard a lot of creators and hopeful creators feel a little intimidated by the system or not really understand what it takes to be successful on the marketplace. The team here, we have some amazing and successful marketplace creators who represent all different types of offering on the marketplace: tokens, map packs, games, modules, add-ons. So with that in mind, Jaleesa and I are going to throw some questions at our panelists and see what they have to say about their experience on the marketplace. So Jaleesa, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I will kick it off. So Tell us about how you started out as a marketplace creator for Roll20, and how and or where does the Roll20 marketplace conversion tie into your creative process?
Anybody got something they want to weigh in on that?
Well, I can say I started using Roll20 probably 5 years ago, and it wasn't until the summer of 2016 that I had been looking at the marketplace. I'm like, I've been remaking the maps in Adventure Pass for many years. I've been playing for quite some time, and whenever it would just be like a line drawing, I wanted to show my players something a little more. So I started getting really good at creating these maps using photo textures and sometimes 3D objects that you repainted over. And it was starting to work up this full library of things that I had made. And like, well, I could easily start to put something together and actually try to sell it. And it was an easy in for me. Like, this is easy for me. I just sit home and make this map, put it online, and then it just kind of, other people get to use it and enjoy the details that really enhanced my game as well. And so I started doing that, and then like 3 months later, I decided just to quit my career and do it full time, and it just worked out. Like, I had a little savings. I'm like, I think it's going to work, and I devoted almost 10 hours a day for that first 3 months, just making pack after pack to get a substantial bulk of things. Because I think when people are looking for maps and tokens or anything, they want things that sort of match up. If they're playing a long-term campaign, they want everything to sort of gel together. And so if you have enough stuff out there, people will keep coming back and dipping into your well of marketplace goods. I certainly work differently now than I used to when I would make maps. And now I really want to take advantage of what Roll20 has to offer as far as the application in rollable tokens, where we can flip tiles, which we recently kind of debuted in the Pro Perks thing with the Phalite Forest and the Darkswell Caverns, where on the map layer itself, you can actually just with a click of your mouse change that map to something different in that same tile space. And so I've been thinking about those things now recently in my more current work that I'll be releasing later on this year and into next year.
Yeah,
Got a good
for those of you who have not yet seen, David actually produced the inaugural Roll20 Reserve item that he just referenced, the Phalite Forest and the Darkswell Caverns. They're interactive maps that are absolutely gorgeous, and they're available to all pro subscribers for this month, till the end of this month, for free. So that's part of our brand new Roll20 Reserve system that we're really excited to debut this month. And then next month, there will be another offering, and it will change each month with something new and exciting.
Yeah, I want to also say that I don't take any responsibility for your character's death. That's on you. I just made it. That's on
don't
you.
at David with your character's death.
Right,
That's not what this is about.
What's your fault?
To that vein, DM Dave, I wonder if you are probably one of the most prolific creators on the marketplace of just constantly coming out with adventures. So
yeah. So if I'm quiet, it's just because I'm thinking about what I'm going to put on there next. Looking at David's
writing a new adventure. As we speak.
I was doing dynamic lighting earlier. I won't lie. But yeah. So we had already had some success with our brand on Patreon and Kickstarter, but we were approached by someone to help us convert a lot of our content back in like March, right when COVID was starting to come in, everybody was going inside, and you guys started going vertical from all the business you were getting from that. And right away we saw there was a lot of opportunity there with the marketplace. So I actually changed my entire workflow to go around. I used to start off by writing the documents and posting on Patreon and then converting it to Roll20, but I started doing it the other way around. I started creating the stuff on Roll20 first, mostly one to see it like all in front of me, which is really convenient when I'm working. And then we would like create the content, we draft the content, put it into the handouts, and then do it that way. And since then, that process has been pretty big for us, because then we can, get it all going flow. But the thing about Roll20 that I think a lot of people should recognize is there's a ton of opportunity on there. I mean, it's just insane how much opportunity there is for creators of all types. So yeah, we love it. We absolutely love it.
And we love you.
Well, good.
Does anybody else want to have any stories to share about how they started out on the marketplace or creating content for Roll20? Yeah, Nora, go for it.
I started out, I met Daniel Fox, the author, on Zweihander at Gen Con last year, and I had been introduced through a friend at the time to talk about advice for Umbra, and the topic of the like sort of online compendiums came up, and it was like I he said, well, we have something that works, but it's on our own like private thing, and it went from that to me saying, um, well, I mean, I have to learn for my own project how to do this eventually. I'm planning on doing it. Why don't I do yours? It's an amazing game. The like intent and was and still is press button get character, and that functionality should be coming soon. But like we started small and went with the compendium, and it's been going for a year since then. And it's been a blast, honestly.
Yeah, and we were really excited to get Zweihander onto Roll20, and I know that Zweihander has some exciting stuff coming up as well.
Yes.
So
I don't know how much I can talk about it, but
I don't either,
I'm
so we'll
super
just leave it
excited.
at that. But speaking of exciting stuff coming to the marketplace, Sean, I feel like you can talk a little bit about that process, right?
Yeah.
With how things for Evil Hat make it to Roll20.
Sure. Yeah, so we started a year ago before COVID, and we were releasing For the Queen, and all of our other games were, for the most part, most of our other games rather, were role-playing games, and so they were fairly easy for people to port themselves. And I'd used Roll20, but we weren't a creator. A lot of people had made character sheets for Fate and for Monster of the Week and for some of our other games, but we kind of left it up to the fan base to make our content. But we realized with For the Queen, we couldn't do that. We needed custom decks. We needed to build out things that couldn't be done with character sheets, but could be done in the marketplace. And Alex Roberts, the creator, really wanted her game to be accessible in different formats. And so one of those is, well, how do we play it online? And Roll20, with the custom decks, with the custom background, with the handouts, like it had all the pieces we needed. And so we started with that. And that was a great, like, dipping my toe into the water, because I was like, well, I have all the art from the print game and the PDF. It took some time to get familiar with it. But then once I was used to it, once I'd done one, we thought, well, okay, now how hard would it be to keep adding more content? And then COVID hit, and we're like, well, this is where everyone's going to be playing. And so we went from having one title on the marketplace to having, I think, 65 titles on the marketplace in the course of this year. And it's been great because we have this huge backlog of content. We started as just doing module creation, but then Fred Hicks, our president, started learning the character sheet development, which is its own, which is separate from the marketplace, but it's its
own beast.
It's its own beast, but it's very important to be able to offer kind of both pieces if you can. You really want the campaign module, but you of course want a character sheet that's going to play nicely with that. And so he redid the Monster of the Week character sheet, and then did the Fate one did a new Fate one from scratch, and then just recently did the Thirsty Sword Lesbians character sheet, which is gorgeous.
It's so good.
It's his best work yet, for sure. And the combination of him doing the character sheets and us loading the art assets into the campaign has just been fantastic. And I will often load like giant bundles and be like, Jaleesa, my queue is full again. Can you please? It went from 0 to full. That's a fun thing to know. You can only have 5 things in your queue at any given time, so it's worth planning your releases in chunks of 5. So we'll often do like a this, and a bundle with all of the above. Try to make it 4 items plus a bundle with all of the above, and then you have one nice clean queue that is not.
That, my friends, is what we call a pro tip.
But I have to say, like, as a print and PDF publisher, the transition to Roll20 just made us realize that, like, why weren't we doing this before? Because so many people want to play our games online anyway. I've been streaming for years. I play games online. I know everybody does. And to make it, as Nora was sort of saying, click button, get character. We're not there, but click button, get results that you want is huge. And I think it just makes your games more accessible to somebody. So it's now, COVID or not, it's now our de facto our de facto plan, which is we make a game and we're going to make, you know, the Roll20, you know, or the virtual tabletop at least, but certainly for us, Roll20, you know, companion product to go with it.
Yeah. Yuikami, I have a kind of transitional question for you. First of all, I want you to talk about your experience getting onto the marketplace. But first, is this avatar is your personal art, right?
Yes, it's my mascot.
Yes, it's perfectly reflective of the very unique art style that you bring to the marketplace. Did you want to talk a little bit about how you came to be on the marketplace?
Oh, sure. It started with I just wanted to do some custom stuff with my friends. And then I realized that, oh, I should share this with people. And at first I just shared it on like some social media, but it didn't gain that much attention. And then I realized, hey, I could just sell this on Roll20 because Roll20 is like a huge platform. And it really got me a lot of attention. And since then, like not only attention, but financially as well. Like I was able to support my family because of Roll20.
Wow.
And yeah, it also gave me a lot of creative freedom. Since like I can do anything I want and upload it anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's why I love Roll20.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to go on record by saying, like, your mileage may vary, future marketplace creators. Like, obviously the goal is getting to that place where you have a success story like what Yuikami has. That being said, we're going to get into some tips of like how to really push the mileage and the success of the products on the marketplace in a little bit. But obviously everyone's experience is going to be different depending on the work itself, right? So this is a great example of how that success absolutely can be achieved. But since this is a panel where I want to make sure realistic expectations are maintained, that is definitely the goal, not the promise, right? We want everyone to be successful. And I'm so happy you come to hear that that's been your experience. I do want to kind of move into our next question. So what was something, and we don't have to, I kind of forced a little round robin in that first question. Not everyone has to answer this question if you don't have an answer for it, but what's something intimidating about the marketplace that you have since changed your mind about?
I would say, at least from a development perspective on the compendium, the API and like how-to stuff when I first got here was a lot smaller, and like a few of the areas didn't quite have everything on the subject they were talking about, and it's been amazing seeing the work that's gone into the help. Trenton, or Trivia and Kenton both, I was emailing like almost every day for sometimes asking very little questions, and seeing that populate through the help section that has since gone up after I joined the marketplace. It's been so great to see it becoming more accessible to new neophytes like myself.
Yeah, I do want to throw some love at Jaleesa, who put together a lot of the documentation that you now see on the Creator HQ. Which I know has been getting linked in the chat throughout this panel. So that's really where you'll find all the documentation Nora was just referring to. That
thank you, Jaleesa.
Yeah, it's gone leaps and bounds in terms of making things clear. And I have to tell you, as someone who's been on the team for a grand total of 2 months, it's also been a big tutorial for me to learn a lot of the ins and outs of the system that I didn't know before. Anybody else have anything intimidating about the marketplace they want to talk about?
Might have something, I don't know if it's intimidating. Coming into the marketplace, and kind of like you do with any business, you know, you sometimes like to have an idea of like what the demand is for certain things. And with the marketplace, it could be sometimes a little difficult, because if you go by what's the supply is, then you're going to go, oh, everybody wants map packs, because that's, you know, you see a lot of, no offense, David, you know, there's a lot of map packs and stuff. So when we were getting into it with adventures, you know, we're going up against like WotC and those darn guys at Evil Hat, and you know, and you know, like things like that, and we weren't really sure. So we we now have enough products on there where we're starting to get data back, and we could say, okay, this is what works. This is what definitely doesn't work, on the marketplace. And this, we're going to double down on this and like try to do this. And I think that's the only thing where we were kind of like, ooh, I don't know, is this worth our effort? I will say this, we have experimented with other VTT platforms, and by far Roll20 is the easiest one to work with, because you kind of I think the biggest thing is because we have had people approach us like, hey, will you get on our platform? And the thing is, it's the assistance from like Jalissa. Like, I'm sure Jalissa's tired of my team bugging the heck out of her, sending 4 emails a day. Hey, why is this posted? Is this going to be up before the weekend?
That is
got her
team. I love your team. They're
She's
great.
our secret lost employee, I guess, or the other way around. But yeah, like it's great in that aspect because we can get feedback, the feedback loop quickly from Roll20, and we know right away what works, which we definitely did not get with some of the Roll20's competitors. So yeah, I'd say that's like the only thing that's like, oh man, I wish I knew what worked and what didn't, what people want, but we can do that through surveys and stuff.
Thank you, DM Dave. Your check's in the mail.
Yeah,
sure. I have a good follow-up I have a follow-up to that, which is sort of similar for us. What we didn't know is like, what's it going to look like on the other end? Before we got into it, we purchased a few modules to sort of see like, what does the product to the end user look like? And we didn't know, because a lot of our products weren't mapping kind of analogously to some of the other content that was on the seat. We didn't really know like, what is it going to look like if they get a module? What is it going to look like if they get an add-on? What is it going to look like if they get a compendium? How is it all going to work? And I definitely had some trepidation that, what if we make a mistake? What if I like put this, like, for instance, I didn't know at first that if you include token markers, those need to be a separate, you can't include token markers in the campaign. That's a separate thing that you add on and then you bundle it together. And so, there was some of that like trial and error experimentation, but the great thing was every time we would run into that, Jalissa generally would be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Well, we'll bundle that and we'll reconfigure it. And the people who ordered what you wanted them to get will now get what they wanted. And we fixed campaigns. And so we've had this opportunity to like learn as we've gone. And when we've made mistakes, we can always kind of retroactively patch them. So there's never been like, well, that's a dud product that doesn't work. We've always been able to get it to the state we want and then, learn from that. And it's been easier going forward. So I think if you're like, should I submit this? Is it ready? First off, it's going to get a quality review. So there's somebody else. It's not going to go through automatically. And second off, if you did make a mistake, you can fix it and then you'll learn for the next time. So it's a pretty smooth on ramp, I think, in terms of even if you're not sure, it'll work. So.
Absolutely. We at least we try to make sure it'll work in the end. And it's true that everything can be fixed generally. Like if you're scared about a thing going up on the marketplace, that you're going to put it up wrong or that the end product is not going to be what you thought it was, we're all humans on this side of things too. So we can work with you to fix mistakes. And if there's anything anyone's taken away from this panel, Jalissa, I'm really sorry. I feel like it's like, okay, so I reached out to Jalissa.
Send me all the emails. I'll fix it.
Oh boy, what have I done?
I'm glad your email address is not underneath your bar here.
Do you want to ask the next question, Jalissa?
Yeah, we can jump into the next question. So, what is the marketplace offering that you are the most proud of?
Individually or just in general?
Yep.
Yeah, like the individual thing that you put up that you like.
I don't know. It changes week to week.
Well, when you post
whatever's making the most money, obviously. I'd say we've tried out a few different things. So I use Roll20 just about as much as I build stuff on it. In fact, I did 13 hours of streaming on it yesterday. So I'm familiar with running stuff on Roll20. And I'd say anytime when I'm actually in the game and I'm like, man, I really could use this. And then I go and I make that thing and I put it up on the marketplace because I'm like, damn, I really need like an in that I could just throw in with an add-on and that's already got like Pog set, and go make that thing. And then it sells well. I'm like, oh, good. Everybody else is kind of thinking like I am, like they have the same kind of thought. And I really kind of like that, like quick feedback loop. Like if it's a pain point that I'm having, then likely it's a pain point other folks are having. And it's kind of nice to see that.
Does anyone else have a favorite thing on the marketplace?
Yeah, I'll talk about one that almost broke my brain. 2 years ago, I sometimes get a chance to chat with Gabriel Pickard, Russ Hapke, a few other creators. We have a little chat thing that's pretty regular. And we were all going to do like a Halloween thing 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make this really cool mansion that's like a spooky mansion. And I started it like just before October, and it got to be close to Halloween, and I was hardly even done because I kept adding things to it, and eventually grew into this sort of 4-story Victorian mansion with a secret laboratory in the basement, and there was so much to it that I just kept going, and they all started harassing me that it wasn't done, and there was no chandeliers. I'm like, oh, you guys are killing me, stop. But I'm very proud of it in that it turned out so much like I had imagined it, and that it's cross-genre. There's tiles to light up different rooms. It's got a very spooky vibe to it. It can be used in so many different types of games. I don't know that it's a great seller for me, but that's the one that took 6 months, and so I'm going to stand behind it even if I die. I don't care.
I
That's
support
my
you.
one. Thank you.
I'm gonna go buy it right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
thank
buy
you
it right
very
now.
much. Thank you.
Someone in chat literally just said that they're running that mansion this Wednesday.
Oh,
No
yes.
Nice.
Well done,
Vindicated.
well done. Well done. You can add ghosts to it, but again, of course, I'm not responsible for character death. It's my disclaimer that I'll use.
I think for me, the Blades in the Dark campaign module was probably my most difficult one. It includes 120 rollable tables with 7 entries in them, because every single faction status can go from -3 to +3. And then there's also token markers to mark whether they have what their tier and what their hold is. So each faction is listed with their default status and their default faction status and their starting tier and hold, so that you can sort of just grab those and drag them out to your tableau, so that when you're playing and you're looking at Duskfall, you can see like, oh, these are the crews, these are the factions that we've messed with and how they feel about us. And that was, I had to learn some code to figure out how to like get Photoshop to crop to like add like 35 pixels on the end so that I'd have room for the token markers. Like, there was wild batch processes that were involved with that, and it was just so much fun, and like it's so gorgeous, and I'm really that was just a lot of work to put together, but I'm so pleased with how it came out. Rollable tables for the win, man. There's so much you can do there.
I love them.
Nora, I feel that this question is a little skewed since you have Zweihander, which is like enough achievement for
all
there
of
are
us.
multiple marketplace items, but was there a moment of your conversion of Zweihander to Roll20, something that you like were particularly jazzed about?
Yeah, when we actually got a question about development for the character sheet regarding from another trans woman, the sex thing, and I actually got to raise that issue to the team, and we decided that we were going to remove all like reference to sex when referring to player characters. And like this had been probably a month after I had uploaded the compendium, and it really felt like the right thing to do, and just made my entire week that time, because it was just like, oh, angry trans woman gets to fix like one awesome thing about or one less than awesome thing about an awesome game. And yeah, it was made me feel alive.
That's amazing. I mean, and that's exactly with like what we're trying to achieve with the things we're bringing to Roll20, right? Is like we want to make sure that we are including that representation in our games and not making anyone feel unwelcome in the games that they're playing on Roll20 either. So like, I commend you for championing that cause. That's an amazing adjustment. Anybody else? Well, let's see. I think at this point, almost everyone has answered that question. Yuikami, did you have anything you were particularly proud of you wanted to share?
Probably the status markers. Like ever since I started using Roll20 4 years ago, I always wanted my own custom markers. And then suddenly Roll20 just told me, hey, we're gonna add this in next month. Like you should release the product and we will help promote it, and everything was perfect. And like I put so much love into that pack. So yes, I'm most proud of that one.
I think when you put so much love into a piece of art, it really shows through. So yes, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Now, on the flip side of that question, does anyone have a favorite thing on the marketplace to share that is not theirs?
Everything that belongs to Gabriel Picard. Like a huge fan.
I think you made David Hemingway, right?
No, I'll say that I really love Yuakami's work. It is so well done. It is so perfect. And sometimes my pals and I will look at the marketplace stuff, and whenever Yuakami has a new setup, we're just like, this is incredibly good. It's so good. I'll say I love Russ Hapke and Dan Wolter's work. If you're building a regional world map, those are the guys to go see. And also Russ Hapke, I think he's an actual druid because he does a lot of nature stuff. So be on the lookout. If you need trees and plants, check with him. And then my favorite token maker is Dark Wolf, Riley Owens. He does very customizable top-down tokens, and his work meshes with mine so well that I constantly use them in my own games. So yeah, those are the people I like.
I'm gonna need those regional map maker names from
you.
Yeah,
Russ Hapke. Yeah.
I tell you, man, I have the hardest time finding people who do regionals.
Sure. Yeah, check it out. He's got a bunch of stuff.
We are reaching the end-ish of our time, so I'm going to have Jaleesa ask our last question of the panel.
All right. So, what is your single biggest piece of advice or your key tip that you would offer to aspiring marketplace creators?
Learn Jaleesa's email. I think.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Just do
talk
it.
to people.
Let's do it.
Like people want to hear about your game. We're all gamers, and like we want to play games. So don't think that you're like not going to get a response. And like talk yourself out of engaging with other people. I think that's the first step, and it's the hardest one. But no, like after that, everything else comes naturally.
I'll say don't rush your process, whether you're writing or creating a map or making tokens. Don't rush your process, because if you're doing the very best you can in that moment, it's going to show, and your quality is going to carry over to the marketplace, and people are going to want more of that. They're going to know that you're taking the time and the love and the care to make your very best. So if you rush and you're looking to make big money, big time fast, it might not work out for you. You got to have. I think you should really be more concerned with quality, especially early on.
I'd say don't feel the need to lowball yourself. Really judge the value and the quality and what you feel like you need to get out of the marketplace in terms of sale value. I mean, you can look and see what things are selling for to get a sense of what's the market value, but I really appreciate that Roll20 has as a bottom cap. $4.99 is the minimum, because otherwise people can kind of get into this mindset where they race to the bottom. Like, well, I need to do. No one would ever think my thing is worth this, and they do. It is worth it. You put all this blood, sweat, and tears, and code, and images, and maps, and you put all of this into it, and we do value it. I mean, as consumers, as customers, and I think you really don't. There's a few things I was like, should have charged more for that. As I learned, and I'm like, well, that's okay. It's an experience. It's an early experience, but price something that you value at, and don't be too afraid of that.
I'd say just have fun with it. I mean, we're in the game industry, which is pretty cool. I mean, everybody dreams of kind of being there, and then when when you get there, it's like, I don't know about everybody else on this panel, but at least once a day, I'm like, is this my life? This is really weird.
Yes.
And, it's been pretty cool. I like David, I left my job back in April working in a tech company to come do this full time, and it's been awesome. And I always try to make it fun, even though like I know what sells and what doesn't. It's like your Victorian mansion, David. Like, it's like, you know what? If this takes me 6 months to do it, I don't care. It's fun, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's my top seller. I could make dragon layer maps all day and become, king of Roll20. But instead, if I want to make name every NPC in a village just because I want to know what their names are, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just have fun with it, man. It's all games.
I'm going to take a quick second to say that we are $180 away from our 15K milestone. And so if we could raise $180 in like 1.5 minutes, that would be stupendous. But meanwhile, I know to wrap us up here, Jaleesa also reached out to our marketplace creator community to ask for any kind of additional tips that they would share. And Jaleesa, I'd love it if you could kind of go over what your favorite tips from that list were.
Yeah, so I have a couple of favorite tips from this list, and probably my favorite is make sure you schedule and submit your releases in advance and space them out. Having new packs on the front couple of pages of the store as regularly as possible increases visibility. I think that's probably my favorite. And in addition to that, researching what else is available on the marketplace and how much it sells for and what it contains, tagging everything thoughtfully. Better tags mean that your content is easier to search for and is more likely to be found by people who need it. And I think that's a really important one because a lot of people, when things come through the queue, I see a lot of random tags, and like it's better to be purposeful and intentional about your tags. Like, yeah, you could tag something D&D, or yeah, you could tag Pathfinder, but really think about what those people are looking for and what assets they're really needing for their game, because that's only going to help you more in the long run than just tagging like big IPs. It doesn't work as well as you think. So take a second to think about those as you put them through. And then the last tip I'll share is make sure that your artwork, particularly maps, conforms easily to a standard grid. And I think that one is important as well. And so, yeah, those are the tips that I've got from existing creators. And yeah, it's been awesome. I'm excited.
Those are brilliant tips. Everybody take note of those if you're looking to become a marketplace creator. I hope that this little hour has given everyone a bit more insight into kind of the decisions, the processes, and the people that go into making marketplace stuff. And if you take away anything from this panel, my hope is that you realize it could also be you. So if you want to know more about being a marketplace creator, check out the Marketplace Creator HQ, just linked in the chat there. I think our giveaway is probably wrapping up any second now. Listen, we didn't hit the $15,000 milestone on our Tiltify in this panel, although we did get $5 closer from 30 seconds ago. But I will say, this is all to support an amazing cause to raise money for Code 2040, breaking down barriers in the tech industry. And that's what we're all about, is breaking down barriers, making sure that we can all play the games we want to play and that those games are made by all the people who want to make them. So if you haven't yet, check out the rest of our event schedule, check out our Tiltify. We have a lot more going on for Roll20 Con for the rest of the weekend. Just a few more hours left of the show, but it's jam-packed with stuff. Check out our t-shirt with proceeds going to Code 2040. Check out our amazing custom D20 from Norse Foundry with a portion of the proceeds going to Code 2040. Get your free Burn Bright adventure. I think I have checked all the boxes of all the things I want to make sure I mention, but I just want to say thank you to my amazing team of panelists. Thank you all for coming today and talking a little bit about your experience. This has been Marketplace Methods, Maps, Modules, tastic. I don't even remember the full name of it anymore. But I want to give everyone a quick chance to just give their name, their tag, whatever, before we go out. So let's start with you, Nora. Oh no,
I just realized my hardware was muted. Yeah, once again, check out Zweihander on the Roll20 Compendium. It is free. You can find me on Twitter at NORWH4L. I realized I didn't give that out to you, Emily. That's my fault. you can check out my other work at RPG Umbra on Twitter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yui Kami.
Yes, Yui can be here, Yui can be there, Yui can be everywhere. That's all you have to search for.
David Hemingway.
Hey, find me on Twitter. You'll see what I'm up to working on. David Hemingway 1. That's the number 1 on Twitter. And you'll get to see pictures of my beagles. They're adorable.
DM Dave.
You could get us my stuff. I'm DM Dave on dmdave.com. We're pretty big on Patreon, patreon.com/DMDave, or on Instagram at Dungeon Master Dave.
Sean.
Hey, I'm Sean Nittner. We are currently kickstarting Thirsty Sword Lesbians, an amazing game by April Walsh. And earlier at the beginning of the con, we ran a game of it, and we used some of the free VTT art assets that anybody gets for backing. So if you go to sword.gay, that will pull up the Kickstarter. Haha, I just broke Emily. And it's as soon as anyone backs, they immediately get art assets that they can use in Roll20. And once we have all the art assets, we're going to build a beautiful module for it. And there's a few tier levels where you can, if you pledge any of the cyber or the nice tier levels, you'll get that module as well. So really good stuff. The game is amazing, and I'm excited to bring it to Roll20 even more so.
Jaleesa.
I am Jaleesa, and my Twitter is at AZSUANAAA, Asuna. So you can find me there. I don't really use Twitter, but I'm there sometimes.
I have a feeling you're getting a lot of DMs about marketplace stuff now.
Right?
So.
Since they don't have my email, you can DM me.
Thank you all for joining us. I have been your host, Emily Floyd, the Director of Licensing at Roll20. I'm Emily the Spoon on all the social medias. We are now about $50 away from our 15K milestone for Code 2040. Thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of Roll20 Con.